Yo, what's going on, guys? Jay here, and today I got a very, very special review for you. I was not planning on reviewing this project, although I did listen to it, but because of the buzz that a certain Anthony Fantano review garnered online regarding this project, I thought it would be fitting to give my own personal thoughts on it. Today, we are reviewing The Hood Hottest Princess Deluxe by Sexy Red. Now, for starters, prior to doing this review, I had not listened to the original version of Hood Hottest Princess. The original version came out earlier this year, is 11 tracks. The Deluxe is 11 tracks as well. So, the two together, we are looking at a 22 song album that goes a little bit over an hour, maybe a little bit under. I forget for sure. Yeah, let's talk about it, guys. I got a lot to say here. Sexy Red is, of course, the most viral artist of the year, and for that reason, of course, a lot of people hate her. And one comment I'm gonna make from now, her being the most viral artist of the year is not by accident. Sexy Red has mastered the art of making raunchy, gross, head scratching, but also super catchy choruses that resonate with people for whatever reason. And they resonate with some people, but regardless, everybody knows them. They go viral. They tend to have some either relatable or like danceable qualities, whether it's a song like Fuck My Baby Daddy or Shake Your Dreads, where it's something that people could get down to if they're on that type of vibe, if they have fire dreads or if they hate their baby daddy. Or you, of course, have the more quote unquote ratchet and gross choruses that some people fuck with and some people are disgusted by, but regardless, they get her trending, whether it's talking about that coochie pink, that booty hole brown that she's been on. And again, when I say not by accident, Sexy Red clearly a smart woman and was able to get to the top of the rap game by making music like this that is not only so enjoyable to the demographic that she's marketing to, that she does have a solid fan base, but that goes viral pretty much every time she drops. I feel like every time Big Sexy drops a single, everyone's posting it, academics, no jumper, and normally it's posted with some negative connotation around it. Normally people aren't big fans, but regardless, her name is out there. And before we even get into this project, let me preface where I stand or where I stood on Sexy Red before hearing this album, before I listened to this album. Fan of Sexy Red. I enjoy some of her music that I heard prior to this album. She got bangers. She has a knack for making a really catchy, high energy, high voltage songs that are super fun. And my favorite song of hers, Hellcats and SRT's remix. The remix is not on this project. The remix features a Lil Durk. And it also features an alternate verse from Big Sexy that I think is better than her verse on the original version. This has been one of my favorite tracks of the year. If I'm going to keep it a buck, Lil Durk snaps on the verse, as he's known to do on features from time to time, as well as the very, I don't know, that song's got this type of rhythm, type of bounce. I love the chorus. It's a very badass chorus where Sexy is just bossing up, as she does throughout this album. She is always, always, always gassing herself up, and I feel like that's why this music resonates with people so well, as Sexy Red has always got her confidence on display. And yeah, another point that I want to make briefly, I guess, because I do want to do a more extensive video essay type of thing on this topic, but in my mind, Sexy Red is really no different than an artist like 21 Savage or Lil Durk in terms of what she raps about. She is giving you that same stuff, the big flexes, the gangsta talk, and the talking about fucking. She just gets a lot of hate on it because she's giving it from the female perspective. Of course, hip hop in the mainstream and just in general, it tends to be a genre dominated by men, which, I mean, is not really a good thing. I think it's because it's why when you see so many artists like Sexy Red or like Lotto, or Megan Thee Stallion, even when they are on the come up and are blowing up, they receive so much hate because, to a degree, at its roots, hip hop is inherently sexist. And of course, again, we don't have to get into the historical roots, all the hoes and bitch talk that's been in the music forever. That's not even what I'm talking about. But in the mainstream, in the modern era, sexism is a little bit rooted in hip hop. You see everybody online refers to rappers like Sexy Red and like Lotto and like Megan Thee Stallion, like I said before, Cardi B as well, as female rappers. One of my least favorite terms ever, female rap is not a subgenre of rap. If you say that, if you think that, I'm not gonna lie, you're fucking stupid. Like, no offense, but let's get the record straight. Sexy Red makes trap music. She makes street gangsta trap music. She raps about the same exact shit that, again, people like 21, and I am a huge 21 Savage fan. This is not supposed to be any type of disrespectful comparison, but like, people are so grossed out by like Sexy's bars about people like eating her out or fucking or whatever, and like, I understand if you're a man and you don't want to listen to that, that makes you uncomfortable, whatever. I'm not here to argue about how things make you feel. That's not my place. But what I do want to say is you can't discredit that, because you'll say that, but then you'll listen to 21 Savage, where at least once in a song, he is dropping some crazy line about a girl sucking him off, and it's like, where's the double standard, fellas? Where is the double standard with that? But tangent aside, if you are coming into this review expecting me to be super critical of Sexy Red, and you're expecting me to bash this album, this is not it. I'm not necessarily going to praise the shit out of it either, but this is not going to be a review like that, because Sexy Red is a good trap artist, and she has some potential in the game, and I will treat her as such, because, again, people online love to hate, love to say that shit like this isn't real music, when, again, this is no different than the bullshit you be listening to. If you actually try to tell me that Sexy Red is different than an artist like Youngboy, you are dumb. It is the same shit, except from the female perspective. And if you disagree, or if you think that that's stupid, that like there's a degree of sexism rooted in that. You just don't prefer the same content from a female perspective. If you don't enjoy that, that's okay, but you at least have to acknowledge that and respect that, and not act like Sexy Red is a female rapper and that she's less because of that, because that narrative is dumb and I am tired of it. But anyways, let's talk about the music. Going back to her virality, Sexy Red has a bunch of very gimmicky tracks that went viral for her, because, again, she knows what she's doing. I don't know if I want to throw out marketing genius. That might be a bit too strong, but a song like Ski, which was huge this year, also a banger, by the way. She knew what she was doing. She has 5 to 6 songs that we're about to talk about where there is a very TikTokable moment, a TikTokable 15 to 20 seconds of that track that catches on. And starting off with Ski, the track that got her on like that, it is, of course, has that TikTokable Ski. But yeah, Ski's a banger. It's got a very memorable chorus, a very singable chorus that gets stuck in your head, as well as that memorable ad-lib, which is why this song caught on like it did, and it's a genuine banger in my opinion. We also got Pound Town 2 with Nicki Minaj on here. This was another viral hit, and again, here's another song that I'm not as big of a fan of this song, but again, it's got that very TikTokable chorus, the one that is going to have some people getting mad lit, screaming the chorus at the top of their lungs. It's going to have some people rolling their eyes in disgust, but regardless, it is something that everyone's going to have an opinion on it. If you were trying to become a popular, successful artist, being polarizing isn't the worst thing. We also got Shake Your Dreads, like I said, with the very gimmicky, very catchy chorus, where here Sexy Red is rapping about wanting a gangsta-ass killer as her mans, and you will see this type of content throughout the track list. And again, there will be people who are going to say, that's gross, that's bad, that are going to discredit that and discredit Sexy Red for having those beliefs. And, I'm not here to condone killing or being attracted to killing, but how is this any different than when Lil Durk says she wants a ratchet-ass bitch? How is this any different than when Lil Durk says, I want a ghetto-ass, ratchet-ass bitch? Perspective switch. Yeah, the instrumental here is hard. There's some crazy bells going on, but this is my least favorite of Sexy Red's hit songs, or of her viral hits. You also got Bow Bow Bow, Fuck My Baby Daddy, which, again, you get the very TikTokable and very relatable and very polarizing 20-second chorus here that most people are going to have an opinion on. And Sexy Red's got a high-octane energy and a lot of fun ad-libs here. And before we get even further into this review, I will say the appeal of Sexy Red is obviously not the content matter. For some people it might be. For me personally, it's whatever. I'm just not bothered by it. But it is just that energy. Sexy Red brings a different type of energy to the track, very commanding presence, and very, again, she's clearly confident, very triumphant. Like, she make some boss ass music. And there's a track on here we'll talk about later, the outro, Female Gucci Mane, and I'll make this comparison a lot. I think her style is a lot similar to Chief Keef, who was actually featured on this project. And I think if you listen to this project in whole, you will see there are a lot of tracks that have instrumentals reminiscent of newer Chief Keef produced by Sean Ferrari, who handles a handful of tracks here and does a great job. But also Sexy Red's chorus, not her chorus, Sexy Red's flows, her cadence and delivery of points are very reminiscent of Chief Keef, not in a biting his style type of way, but an influence type of way. And that is a lot of the appeal for me. Again, just that raw energy she brings to a track. But with these tracks I just talked about, with the Sexy Red viral hits, I already gave her credit for the TikTokable choruses and for these being her hits. But we also got to talk about the actual verses on these songs, something that most people will rarely talk about. On a track like Ski Yee or on a track like Bow Bow Bow, Sexy Red's verses are actually super fun and, again, high energy, fast flows, the type of shit that just gets you excited, gets you lit. And again, the lyricism isn't anything super crazy, but it's good, enjoyable music, and people will overlook that because of the common narrative around Sexy Red. Most people who hate on Sexy Red probably haven't listened all the way to some of these songs, just the choruses and bits and pieces they hear online. And again, I don't personally love these tracks a whole bunch or bump them all the time, but I will give credit where credit is due. And again, a track like Ski Yee is a genuine banger. But now let's talk about some tracks that you guys probably haven't heard, because again, I feel like most people probably haven't listened to a lot of Sexy Red like that. You look at her streams and they're not as crazy as you'd expect based on how viral she is. That is because a lot of the attention she gets is because of snippets on Instagram. But before you guys think this is all praise, because it's not, a track like Hood Rat, so it's Sukihana, is one I'm really not a fan of, to be honest. Not only is it content-wise too much for me, this is a real, woman stripper anthem, and that's good. If that's your thing, go for it. But as someone who's not a stripper, I can't really get down to this. Not to mention the chorus is obnoxious as hell. I do enjoy Sexy's deliveries a lot at certain points on this album, but this track is not one. Not to mention a boring instrumental. Tracks like I'm the Shit and Nacho are also just annoying to me. Tracks that I don't really enjoy. Weak instrumental, weak Sexy Red performances. I'm the Shit especially is a trash chorus. And yeah, I mean, with a 22 song long track list like this with music that isn't too different, there's not, I have my highlights here and I also have my lowlights, but a good bit of it does blend together. Sexy Red's lyricism as well is very contained to what you'd expect it to be contained to. And I don't mean the freaky sex bars. There's, of course, the freaky sex bars, but I mean, there's a lot of, again, Sexy Red oozes confidence. She oozes it, as well as charisma. I mean, every time she's on the track, she sounds like she is her. She literally raps like she is her. So when she doesn't have the most complex or clever writing, she makes up for it in droves with the energy she brings to a track. And that starts with the best song on this project, the introduction, Sexy Red for President. And this has a super hard instrumental with some banging drums and a haunting vocal loop in the background. Well, Big Sexy is on the track, just talking her shit. This is definitely a she is her moment, and she lets you know that with her super aggressive energy, her big flexes, and how she gasses herself all the way up. And actually taking it back to the outro now, like I was talking about before, Female Gucci Mane, very similar type of vibe here. It's not as hard, not as dark. I mean, Sexy Red for President is really, if you guys are at this point in the video and are nodding your head what the fuck is this guy talking about, that is the song that I'm going to say go listen to. Sexy for President is definitely the one that might win you over if you're not a fan. But yeah, Female Gucci Mane is similar to the intro in the way that she reminds you that nobody is doing it like her right now, comparing herself to a veteran like Gucci Mane. Of course, there's no new content here. Even on the last track of the album, we've been getting the same stuff for the most part throughout, but this is a track where we do get a great production from Sean Ferrari. Another one of my favorite tracks is Ghetto Princess with Chief Keef, where again, like I said, Sexy Red is the woman version of Chief Keef in some ways to me, and hearing the two next to each other on a track like this only further confirms that. And here we get a hard-ass trap beat from Mike Will Made It with some good pacing and intense energy. And Sexy Red is in our bag here, low-key, dropping some bars, has a hard one-liner, though you had some tea on me whole time you drinking piss. And again, you also get an amazing, honestly an amazing Chief Keef feature here. this is the best feature on the record, which to be fair isn't saying much, but I mean, again, Chief Keef killed it here. He's also coming with the jokes, with a hilarious one-liner like, eyes redder than the flight I booked you for the morning. And yeah, Chief Keef does a great job of matching Sexy Red's eccentric energy and flexes that she brings on the track, as well as her heated, aggressive deliveries. On Hold On Yeah, Sexy Red is another memorable bar like, I keep a hammer on me, this bitch come in handy. Tracks like Sexy Walk and Strictly for the Strippers have a heavy 3-6 Mafia influence, and actually has production from DJ Paul and Juicy J, as well as a Juicy J feature on the latter track. And both of these songs are super enjoyable. Neither of them are my favorite. We also get a hard ATL Jacob beat on Strictly for the Strippers. And this is just, again, hard, gritty trap music. Like I said, there's the 3-6 influence, so on a production aspect, you know what to expect. We also got I Might with Summer Walker, which is a surprising crossover to see here, as we get some rapping from Summer Walker, as well as a more subdued verse from Sexy Red, where she's rapping about being in love, which at a point earlier on this album, she says that love is stupid and she ain't been in love since she was 15. So it's cool to get this more soft side from Sexy Red, where again, you're still getting the freaky bars, and you're getting bars about how, if Sexy Red's baby daddy ever finds out, he's gonna put a hole through the man that she's rapping about. And Summer Walker's chorus is good, her rapping performance is good as well, and this is another solid track on the album. I will say this is really the only song that really differs in content matter, or really in anything from the rest of the tracks on this album. There's not much diversity or variety here, but I can't say I expected much either. We also got the original version of Hellcats and SRTs here, which I mentioned before is not as good as the remix, but it's a very sound song here that brings up the track list. But yeah, overall, Hood Hot is Princess Deluxe. I feel like at this point there are a lot of you who might be expecting me to give this a glowing review like Fantano did. And part of me wants to, right? Because I really did enjoy this project. I like Sexy Red. And I also want to support her harder because of how hated she is. Anytime an artist gets over-hated that I think doesn't deserve it, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this too. It makes you want to defend them more. It makes you want to enjoy their music more. But I'm not gonna glaze it here, because at the end of the day, this is a 22 song long track list from Sexy Red with very little content diversification. I think if this came in at 14 to 15 tracks, I would be able to rate this higher. It would be more concise and consistent. There would be less filler because a lot of these tracks serve the same purpose. Also, like I said, Sexy Red's lyricism is not super complex or intricate at all. It's very simple and very straightforward. The content isn't super deep at all either. She's gangsta. She's a boss. And she wants to fuck. She's down to freak. That is what this album is about. And I have to factor in stuff like that when rating. Because again, there are bangers here that I enjoy. Sexy for President is a great, amazing song, to be completely honest with you guys. But the album itself, I really can't call good because of how long it is and because of how simple it is. This is a very surface level in terms of the content matter. And again, you don't go to Sexy Red for the content. But this album isn't concise enough or consistent enough for me to praise the hell out of. But at the end of the day, I do think this is a solid enough project from Sexy Red. I do think Sexy Red is overhated. I do think she is here to stay, and I do think she has great artistic potential, right? I think she is definitely gonna be around for a little bit. I think she has a plan. I think sonically we may see some evolution from her in the future. I think right now she's just working on still getting that cloud up, like I said, with her very TikTokable choruses and memorable songs. But I cannot rate this any higher than a 5.9 out of 10. Again, part of me really wants to, but I do got to factor in everything here, and especially the 22 song long runtime really bogs it down here when there's only 5 tracks that I'm realistically going to revisit. Not to say the rest are bad, it's just the rest are so similar to the 5 that I'm going to revisit that I don't need all of them. And I hope Sexy Red continues to push against the grain and push against the hate and be a mainstay here in hip-hop and help work against the negative narrative around her and around women rappers in general, around the idea of female rap. Because again, I'll say it again, this is trap music, just like a rapper like Little Sims or Rhapsody or No Name. They're not female rappers, they are conscious rappers. I don't know why we have to separate it based on gender. Just because hip-hop is a male-dominated field doesn't mean that female rap is subjugated to its own category. They're fighting in the same arena. They're playing by the same rules. It is just a difference in perspective. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. If you check this project out, which I doubt any of you did, to be honest, let me know what you think in the comments. If you hate Sexy Red, let me know why she sucks. Get my engagement up, please. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. That's all I got on this one. Peace.